Hey y'all, welcome back and welcome if you are new. My name is Sam and welcome to my channel. I have some easy and delicious weeknight meal ideas for you this week, so let's just get right into the video. Hey guys, we are starting this week out with some of my cheddar potato soup. Normally I make this in the crock pot, but today I made it on the stove. We have been very busy all week, so I just put this together and I completely forgot to film it for you guys. But I will have the link to this recipe in the description box below. But here's my plate. I just made some rolls to go on the side with this and it was absolutely delicious. Alright guys, tonight's dinner was just some leftover that we had for Christmas. My mother-in-law made some delicious meat with some au jus. We had some lima beans, green bean casserole, brown sugar honey ham, and some rolls. We just brought some that was left over home with us so we can have that for the next day, and this is what we had for dinner tonight. Alright guys, tonight we are making some Mexican style food. We love Mexican style food. So I've got these two new books. I got these from Ollie's and I was just eager to try them. So from this book I'm going to be making some Spanish rice, which is this right here. I love Spanish rice. And then in this book my husband wanted to try these shrimp and bacon quesadillas. So I'm going to be making that for dinner tonight, and if I can find these books online or the recipes from these books online, I will leave them linked in the description box below. But I will kind of show you what I'm doing as I go along with how to make all of this. Well, as I make all of this, I should say. So right now I've got the beans going for the refried beans. They've been on about 15 minutes or so. And it's just beans, onion, and a little bit of garlic and a little bit of coriander. I didn't have fresh coriander, so I'm kind of tweaking the recipe a little bit and using dried coriander and cooking it with the beans. So these have got about an hour and a half left to go. I'm going to cook these until they're tender, and then I'm going to mash them up, add some more seasonings to this for refried beans, and then I'm going to make some rice and the quesadillas in a little bit, and then I will show you what those look like when I get there. So here is a little overview of some of the things that you're going to need for the rice. Now I'm going to make this in the Instant Pot instead of on the stove, so I kind of tweaked it a little bit to go in the Instant Pot. So I'm just going to add all this to my Instant Pot, set it on the rice function, and let it cook for the 10 minutes. It could take about 20 minutes for it to come together, and then that should be done. And then when that is cooking, I will start on the bacon and shrimp quesadillas. Alright guys, so I've got my refried beans here just hanging out in this little bowl, staying warm. I've got the mixture here for my quesadillas. It's ready to go. I've just got to make those. I've got my tortilla shells here. I've got my Spanish rice going in the Instant Pot. I will show you that as soon as it gets done. All I've got to do is add the peas and kind of mix it around, let that sit for a few minutes, and then we will start on the quesadillas, and then I'll show you everything when it's done. Alright guys, here is everything. Everything is done. I've got the bacon and shrimp quesadillas here. They look and smell absolutely delicious. I've got my Spanish rice here and my refried beans. So I'm going to go ahead and put everything together and I'll show you my plate. Alright guys, here is my plate. I've just got the bacon and shrimp quesadillas. These were absolutely delicious. Refried beans, Spanish rice. I've got some lettuce, salsa, and sour cream. So good. Alright guys, tonight's dinner I'm going to make a braised chuck roast. It's super easy and absolutely delicious. I've got my oven preheating to 350 degrees. I've got my big giant cast iron pot out and that's ready to go. For ingredients, I've got some salt and pepper, some olive oil, butter, a couple of onions, rosemary, some wine. Now you can use red wine or white wine, whatever kind is your favorite. Got some beef broth and some garlic, and I've got my chuck roast here. All I'm going to do to the chuck roast is season it on both sides with some salt and pepper. I'm going to add a little bit of butter and olive oil to the pan, sear up that, and then add everything else and put that in the oven for about 3 to 3.5 hours. And it's going to be good to go and nice and tender. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you what it looks like before we add everything else. Alright, so I seared the meat on both sides. It's nice and seared. So now I'm just going to add the onions to the pot and cook them down for about a minute or two, and then we're going to add our broth and wine, garlic, and rosemary. Alright guys, so I just cooked the onions down for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then I added the beef broth and kind of scraped up all of those brown bits on the bottom. And then I turned it off the heat, added my wine and rosemary. So I'm going to add the meat back in, put this in the oven, and let it cook for about 3 hours. Alright, so I've got the meat back in there, and I also added the garlic in there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the lid on, put this in the oven, and let this cook for about 3 to 3.5 hours, just until it's tender, and then I'll meet you back here. I'm also going to make some macaroni and cheese, some kind of vegetable. I'm not sure yet on the vegetables, probably green beans. I'm also going to make some biscuits. I will leave the link to my biscuits in the description box below so you can check that out. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven, and I'll see you when everything is done. Alright guys, here is my plate. I just have a little bit of the braised beef. It is absolutely delicious. That red wine just does something to it. I have some asparagus with garlic, some macaroni and cheese, and some black pepper biscuits. I will leave the link to these in the description box below. So yeah, this is what we're having for dinner tonight. Alright guys, this week's meal plan is a little bit from last week that I didn't get to make. So on Monday I'm going to make chicken wraps. I've been wanting chicken wraps for a while. It just sounds so good to me, and plus it's super easy. Tuesday, you guys, I have no idea what I'm going to make Tuesday, but I'll bring you along and see what we come up with. Wednesday I'm going to make that baked pasta with sausage and some garlic bread. Thursday is going to be tomato soup with grilled cheese, and Friday we'll either have leftovers or I'll probably just make something, but as before, I will bring you guys along with me. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.